What's up, guys? A video I've been waiting to make for a while. This is the Maximum Football RPO after their most recent update a day or two ago. They've added a couple of new playbooks here. The one I'm going to be talking about is the Gillman playbook. Why it's called that, I don't know. I don't know what a Gillman is. Basically, though, what I've found out you need is this formation gun H slot. That is available in a few of the playbooks. I don't know them all off the top of my head. I haven't had enough time to test it, but let's talk through the RPO and exactly what we're dealing with here. We're going to talk through the run read here first of all. So we have our read. We're all zone blocking. So this is a new run blocking concept for the Maximum Football universe. Zone block left. Basically what we're going to do is leave this player unblocked. Now, Maximum's timing with this needs to be a little bit fine-tuned, but we don't know if this player is going to commit down, if he's going to come up field, if he's going to hezzy. It's just too difficult to tell. With this zone block, though, if you do run gives you nice zone block left, and it gives you the option to cut this out. You have the ability to bounce this outside. I like to cut that back up field to where all my blocking is. Now let's look at an example of when we read this wrong. We're going to be focusing in on the same read here, this exact same play. We're going to look at it whenever the read is wrong. So here we're going to pull the ball, they zone block down, and it leaves a free edge rusher here to basically come upfield and make a sack, because the timing with this handoff still needs some tweaking as far as like being able to get the ball out quickly and on time. Now there's 6 plays here. I'm going to talk through each one, the initial reads that you should be progressing through, and I'm going to cover how to make these plays work. Unfortunately, the RPO is a very rough state right now. Sometimes they'll block the read, sometimes they won't. It's very difficult to decide. The timing as well to hold the ball, because to keep the ball you have to press the X button before the play progresses to keep the ball in the quarterback's hands. This play is Blizzard. Now basically what you're going to get here is your backside end is going to be the read. They're going to down block, and the throw essentially is built for this quick curl route to get the ball out quickly. My adjustment for Blizzard is to simply just make this already an out route audible to an out route, which will extend it down the field. Now what I like about this play is when you're going against something like a cover 4 or a cover 3, this short little curl will basically be your outlet, while this player will run this off and go downfield. So here I'm able to just dump the ball down, get a nice easy pitch and catch to a playmaker in space. You can also, like I said, go to this out route if it develops long enough downfield. The second RPO play we're going to talk about is Cyclone. You're going to have your R1 here is basically like almost like in a stack tight end up back look. He's going to basically leak downfield. The quick read here is either going to be your defensive end, or if there's an outside backer or a nickel corner, that potentially could be your read on this play as well. And you're basically working the X player. So depending on if this player bumps inside, you'll want to pull the ball and quick outlet here to X. But again, with the throw controls, it's very difficult to maneuver this play currently. So here we're looking at Cyclone, and my audible here is to turn your X receiver into a post. So what that's going to do is put conflict on any of these man defenders. If this is some sort of cover 1 or something like that, the safety is going to have to choose to play this outlet or this post route. And you'll see here I'm able to get a lot of really good pressure downfield. Basically, it creates a rub route here with the R1 and the square receiver. I forced the ball in here to my X, but as you can see, it still worked itself out. Here's another example of basically the same thing, but audible that to a post route and basically use that post to then get downfield. I also utilize motion on this play to give my R1 that ability to kind of release through the line and essentially get that post route open downfield a little bit more. Now the third play in the RPO is called Derecho, I believe it's called. Let's take a look at this play and really get our bearings straight. So now the read is basically flipped. You're going to be reading the defensive end to the triangle and square side. The play is built basically to read off of this player, and then you're getting a quick outlet here. It should be a real bang bang play, or your outlet here, you know, the skinny post if you have a single high safety or something like that. Again, problem is ball won't come out. Third correctly is going to be to audible our triangle route to an out route. What that'll do is it'll take it from this little quick one to this deeper out route. So you're a little bit better in rhythm here with the throw. Also, you have a read here with R1 who's basically creating a levels concept off of this. And if you get basically triangle to pull any of this zone coverage out, any of this man stuff out, R1 should pop himself wide open. Now this play is called Hailstorm. Again, another RPO where you're going to have a backside read between the end. Sometimes the nickel or the outside linebacker here will be the read. This is built to basically, as you're getting ready to hand the ball off, you have a quick swing outlet here. Unfortunately, because of how delayed the interaction is in here, you can never get the ball out in this proximity. The player will run himself downfield. I'm working on an adjustment for that. Now looking at Hailstorm, it's a little bit easier of a fix. I'm going to audible my square receiver to a post, and in some instances I'm going to put him on a slant. And the premise behind this is to put conflict on this outside zone corner. So here I'm going to run that play. As you can see, he gets a little bit pressed off the line, but when I lead him inside, it's going to take this zone corner here, pull him, and leave that release downfield basically run itself wide open. Running this with the skinny post, I'm going to let this player run himself downfield here and basically get past the defense, especially if it's a man-to-man. He's going to get caught trying to fight through traffic. I'm able to step up into the pocket and basically launch one downfield for a big gainer. The fifth play here is Hurricane. Your read is going to be backside end here. Sometimes it will give you a player out here in space. It's quick, basically like one or 2 yard curl is supposed to be the read off of this. You also have this really nice backside, just 0 yard slant coming across the middle, and a little bit better timing wise, you can hit this deep in also, sort of like if these two are kind of like occupied with some sort of like cover two or something like that. So a play developing down across the middle of the field may open up. The final play of the 6 is called Tornado. Now, as you can see, these routes are developing a little bit more downfield. You have a nice fade option here. I think this is something whenever a defense is kind of getting a little bit more aggressive and you want to still be able to run some RPO action, but also stretch the field a little bit more. Maybe you have a couple of really good receivers here on the edge. Maybe they're walking a safety down, or there's one in the middle of the field. This is your RPO play to basically give you, your backside read here. It looks like it's a safety that's in the box now. It also will be the defensive end at times. You still have the option here with a quick slant. I'll explain, later in the video why that's not an option. You can also develop these plays. So as your RPO is kind of developing here, these guys are basically working their way downfield. You can get an easy matchup on the edge with this Hurricane or the. So in Hurricane, I really like this for my my man-to-man beater, and I'm gonna change my R1 to a flat route here, not an out route, a flat route. So what's gonna happen is whenever these guys are transitioning through coverage, you're going to see here I use a little bit of motion to get a read, but we're going to be focusing on this player as far as the throw goes. So what happens with him? Well, he makes contact with the corner and basically gets caught up almost like in a little crosser route, and that leaves my R1 outlet guy wide open for an easy completion. My other adjustment I like to do is I'll just straight up audible the fullback at times to basically help pass block. If I anticipate I'm just going to throw out of this, and I'm going to take a shot downfield. Now that fade route will take a little bit of time to develop, so you really need a pocket and a strong arm quarterback. But you could see this thing is pretty difficult to defend.